Karen Dupree with Triangle to Coast Realty, and today for our market update, I am joined by Kendra McCormick with Atlantic Bay Mortgage. How are you, Kendra?
Great, Karen. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Kendra. Can you tell us how the rates looked and how it looked for August and what you think should be on the horizon for the buyers?
Sure. Unfortunately, I wish it was better news, but I think everybody's well aware that rates are up. They're averaging, depending on people's FICO scores, which is a big determination of the interest rate that you're going to get. They're ranging from, mid sevens upwards to 8% with somebody with lower credit scores. One tip that I will give people if they're curious is they can literally get on their phone and just Google the national average mortgage rate, and it'll take them right to the rate. They can plug in what they think their FICO score is, because they'll see a different rate based on a FICO score. Our company tends to have a little bit lower rates than the national average, which is great. But speaking of rates, even though they're higher, they're allowing people to actually get into homes that they're interested in. So there is a positive side to higher interest rates. It's making less competition out there. And I'm sure you can speak to that as well, Karen. One interesting statistic is, sometimes people look at higher rates and they're like, I'm waiting this out. I'm sitting on the sidelines. I'm not going to buy a house with rates this high. Well, an interesting fact is every time the interest rates drop by 1 percentage point, 5 million more people enter the home buying market across the country. And what that does is that drives interest rates up significantly. Karen, you probably remember the market about a year and a half ago when we had the very low rates. A $500,000 house, you'd be lucky to get it competing with 40 offers at 600,000. So the key is it's more important to look at the affordability with your monthly payment, because you can refinance a home that you buy now the minute rates get lower. Sometimes I've refinanced clients in the past 2 to 3 times, but you can get in now without the competition. Maybe it's 2 offers, possibly 3, possibly none. Gives you the chance to get in a home at a more reasonable price, closer to the list price. And then you can refinance at any time. There is no waiting period in the state of North Carolina from when you're allowed to refinance.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree anymore, Kendra. I think, now I do believe that still now with the higher interest rates is the time to buy, because I do believe that when those rates shift just an ounce or a little bit, and watching my 23-year
Yes.
career, you'll see that there's going to be so many more people that have been sitting on the sidelines that you're going to be competing with that. So we encourage our buyers to get into the market now, because there is some maybe possibly even a little bit of negotiating that can be done.
With that negotiating power, Karen, there's a lot of programs out there that allow people to temporarily buy down their interest rates. They can buy it down by 1%, they can buy it down by 2%, and it can be negotiated that the sellers pay that for you. We call those temporary buy downs, and they've been very popular the last year, and it will give your home buyer some relief on a payment until the rates have officially dropped.
I couldn't agree more. We've used that tactic with some of the sellers is selling
Sure.
properties as well, is to offer buy downs on the interest rate, because I've seen where it saves several $100s a month on the rate when you can buy it down 2 points or 1 point or whatever it may be, to get the interest rate into a more favorable place. We all know, like you said, Kendra, everyone's going to be refinancing. That's just where we are.
Yes.
Do you have any outlook on what you think the market is going to do with interest rates over the next end of the last quarter of the year and going into 2024?
So I think they will stay up through the end of this year. I do think 2024 will bring relief. Nobody can pinpoint exactly when, but I will tell you, historically speaking, and this has happened, if you look back at the last 50 years, every time there is a recession and it's an election year, which both of those things are approaching us, it brings a big relief and a big reduction in mortgage interest rates. So those items, you know, they're coming in 2024. There's no doubt about it. It's just a little hard to predict. Are we going to see rates start to drop first quarter of 24? Is it going to be more third quarter? All the experts that get paid very big bucks to predict these things keep changing their predictions. I don't. It's been an unusual economy, and it's been harder to predict than normal. But I do think we will see that happen at some point for sure in 2024. And it might continue, rates just might keep coming down like they did during COVID, for a good 2-3 year stretch, they kept dropping.
I think it would be
So,
wonderful to see
yeah.
the rates get as low as they were last year. But I'm not sure that's on the horizon for any of us. But I do think that
Yeah.
we're going to level out with a more favorable number with rates and not be in the 7s and 8s. And I agree with
Yes.
Kendra, when it's an election year and after recession, I've read a lot of data and that proves that we are going to have more stability.
Another way to look at it, especially if you are a renter, people get nervous about a rate between 7 and 8%. But if you are renting right now, your interest rate is 100%. So 7 to 8% is so much lower than what you're paying now if you are only renting. Another thing too, for a lot of first-time home buyers, and not even first-time home buyers, there's so many programs. I personally have 8 different programs that allow buyers to get into a home with either down payment assistance, 100% financing, or very low down payment. And again, in a market where you can negotiate a little bit more with sellers and possibly even get seller credits as well. I've had plenty of people that have bought in a home in the last year with no out-of-pocket money, which is pretty remarkable. That doesn't really happen in the market we were in a year and a half ago with so much competition. So there are some things to take advantage of at this moment.
Absolutely. So, Kendra, I want to jump into the program that you and I are launching and supporting together. We're on the edge or right at the anniversary of 9/11 and different things, but
Yes.
can you tell us more about the Everyday Heroes and
Yes.
program and what that looks like just for buyers right now to give them actually some more incentives towards closing costs and things that we can assist with these rates?
Absolutely, Karen. I'm so happy that you and I have teamed up together. We have a program called Everyday Heroes where somebody that is working it really covers a lot of industries, but again, our first responders, firefighters, police officers, teachers, um, healthcare professionals, active military or veterans, government employees. Again, there's a lot of different jobs that fall into this category of our everyday heroes. Karen and I have combined, we have a nice incentive where we're giving a credit towards closing costs that can be up to $2,500. So on the loan part, it's a percentage based on the loan amount. And then Karen's team has contributed some as well. So it can be as up to, depending on the purchase price and the loan amount, as much as $2,500. And we all know every little bit helps. And you could, in addition, get seller's credit. So again, with so many options out there, we're just trying to get people maybe off the fence from renting and into their first home while they have an opportunity in this market to finally own a house.
Yeah, I'm super excited, Kendra, that we can partner and do that, and to give back to the people that are an essential part in our community. But Kendra, I appreciate your time and your insight on the market and where we are. I think if we just kind of give a conclusion that it is a good time to buy. The interest rates where they are. There's a bit of more negotiating that can be done with the buyer.
Absolutely.
Potentially, we've got incentives that we can ask for closing costs to buy down the rates. But we all know that anyone buying right now in the market is going to look to refinance. And I think
Yes.
you said that there's no timeline for refinancing, even if there's a purchase made.
Not only is there no limitation on how long they've had to have been in that original loan, but again, I love giving incentives, as you can tell, especially with that everyday hero. But another incentive that we're offering as well is that when we refinance our current clients who have purchased with us in the last year, last 2 years, when rates drop, we will actually do their refinance and not charge them any of our lending fees, which is a big savings. So yes, you might not even known about that one, Karen,
I
but
didn't.
it's
That's
great.
awesome.
So yeah, yes. So we're waiving, obviously there's some third party fees that, they will have to pay, whether it's the attorney or appraisal or title insurance. But the lender fees, we are doing the refinance and no cost on our end.
Absolutely. Well, and another thing, Kendra, I want to make sure that I mention our team here at Triangle to Coast. We certainly do have other agents, myself and agents that are super excited to work with buyers at this current time in the market and just maneuver all these things to get them the best possible plan for the future and with their home. Truly appreciate your time and your insight.
Absolutely.
Your knowledge is priceless to us for sure. And just to be able to speak to a lending professional in the market is to know what's going on. I know that it's a daily changing
Yes.
thing.
It
For
sure is, but we work together and we maneuver it together. And my goal in working with your clients is to understand their long-term financial goals, their long-term plans for home ownership, so that I put them in the right situation, the right loan program that best fits their needs.
conclude with, I just encourage buyers, even if you're not looking today, if you just got questions about the market or what you could do. A lot of people just really don't know what they can do in the market or
Mhm.
do I qualify to reach out to us. Sometimes you need a roadmap of knowing how to get to that home ownership. And that's something that Kendra and I really truly have a passion for, is to bring someone, if it's today or if it's 6 months or if a year from now, just to give them suggestions on what needs to be done so that they can be in home ownership for sure. So Kendra, again,
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you for the program and partnering with us for Everyday Heroes. And we'll talk with you soon.
Sounds great. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for having me.